Today is 486 days that I'm here to share lessons that I learn, and I'm learning. I hope this lesson supports your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I'll speak about cause of inaction. Sometimes, of course, you always think, should you do it or should you not? Of course, you're afraid of what will happen if you will do it. But people sometimes do not consider what will happen if they will not do it. Because cost of inaction a lot of times is much bigger than cost of action. A lot of times if you will act, of course, there's a lot of things could come be like, because you're afraid, you can be rejected, you can be disappointed, you can fail for a second, you can make a mistake. Of course, those are actual, real, potential outcomes of your action. But if you do not act, that will lead a lot of times to regrets, and regrets is a long term, while all the mistakes is temporary. So of course, if you act, you can have some temporary disappointments, but if you do not act, you have long-term disappointment. What is better, short-term disappointment or long-term disappointment? For sure, is long-term disappointment is much worse than short-term disappointment. So majority of time, I truly believe is action is much better than inaction. So I'll share a few things that you potentially consider why inaction is so bad. So first thing is that when you are not acting on your goals, that means that you most likely will go through life aimlessly without really pursuing anything. That means that you will just be reacting to life, not responding, not living life by default, not by design. And I truly believe if you want to live a life by design, have the lifestyle that you want, you must learn how to always act and forget about inaction or forget about procrastination. Because people who live by default and they are not able to act a lot of times, and they are not acting, they a lot of times avoiding challenges. And what happens when you avoid challenges? You're not pursuing any kind of goals. You don't pursue dreams. You don't pursue success. And of course, you will not be able to achieve that because you avoid challenges. Now, third thing that is important, so when you do not pursue action, that means that you do not do mistakes. That's what you're afraid, you make mistakes. But mistakes is helping you to grow, to make your skin thinner. And that means that those mistakes allow you to be better and better and better. And you're able to become the person that you want to become. Because most likely you're not the person that you want to be at the moment. But that's okay, because in the future you will be able to become that person only if you start acting on that. Number 4 is that, of course, when you think about action, but you procrastinate. And that means that you know that you will act, but for some reason you procrastinate. Oh, I will do it next week. Oh, I will do it in a month. That procrastination is bringing you a lot of losses. For example, if a person has $1 million and he has that $1 million in a bank, and he could invest that $1 million right away, or he could wait for a couple of years. So that means if he's able to get 10% return on investment, so that means by keeping that $1 million in the bank, he's losing $100,000 every single year because that money doesn't make money for him. Exactly the same with you as a person. If you put yourself in a bank and put yourself in a quiet position and you don't use yourself, you do not get any return on your investment, on yourself. So you need to put yourself into investment that you could get returns out of yourself as well. And the last thing what happens when you are not acting is that a lot of times people really don't take care of themselves very well. Because of course, if you don't take action, you don't exercise, you don't eat well, because you always procrastinate, you're always looking for easy ways. It's better Netflix than exercise. But I truly believe that people who learn to say no to inaction and yes to action is able to achieve much more. And I said, timing is important as well. It's not okay to say I will do it tomorrow. It's not okay to say that I will do it in a month. You need to do it now. I know you're busy. Everyone is busy, but I hope that busy will be for you a reason, not an excuse. I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.